Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to DESI TV USA. I am Tabinda Gul. Let's take a look at the headlines. Black Hawk helicopter collides with passenger jet over Washington DC, triggering mid-air explosion and crash into Potomac River. Tragic collisions near Reagan National Airport, over 60 died as American Airlines regional jet and US Army Black Hawk helicopter crash into Potomac River. Trump blames federal diversity efforts for fatal air disaster, claims unsupported by evidence. Cause of fatal collisions between regional jet and US Army helicopters near DC Airport remains unclear, authorities says. Trump signs executive order targeting international students in pro-Palestine protests, call for visa revocations and deportations. Trump plans migrant detention facilities and Guantanamo Bay for up to 30,000 high-priority criminals. Hamas released 8 hostages. Israel begins freeing 110 Palestinian prisoners amid tension. These are headlines. Lead to news detail. A tragic aircraft accident has occurred in Washington, D.C. involving a collision between a passenger jet and a U.S. military Black Hawk helicopter. The passenger plane carrying 64 people was approaching Reagan National Airport for landing when it collided with the helicopter, which was conducting nighttime training exercise nearby. The impact caused a mid-air explosion, sending both aircraft plummeting into the Potomac River below. Now search and rescue effort. Emergency team are conducting search and rescue operation, but officials fear there may be no survivors due to the severity of the crash and the frigid conditions of the river. President Donald Trump response. US President Donald Trump has criticized the conduct of the Black Hawk helicopter crew and the air traffic controller, stating that the crash should have been prevented. His comments have sparked debate over the circumstances leading to the collision. Investigations are underway. Authorities, including the National Transportation Safety Board and the Federal Aviation Administrations, are investigating the cause of the crash. Key areas of focus include air traffic control, communication, flight path, and the coordinations of military and civilian airspace. The incident had sent shockwaves through the nations, marking one of the deadliest aviation disasters in recent history. As the investigations continue, questions remain about how such a collision could occur in the heavily monitored airspace around the nation's capital. Now the air traffic control audio moments before tragic DC mid-air collision. A tragic mid-air collision occurred on Wednesday night near Washington, D.C. involving an American Airlines passenger jet and a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter. The incident resulted in the death of 60 passengers and 4 crew members aboard the plane, as well as 3 soldiers on the helicopter. Recently released aircraft control audio captures the movement leading up to and following the collision. In the recording, controller can be heard attempting to communicate with both aircraft, issuing instruction and expressing concern as the situations unfold. The audio provides a harrowing insight into the final moment before the crash. Now the authorities are currently investigating the cause of the collision, focusing on the factors such as potential miscommunication, equipment failure, or other unforeseen circumstances. The National Transportation Safety Board is leading the investigations with support from the Federal Aviation Administrations and military officials. As of now, there is no publicity available CCTV footage of the incident. Investigators are reviewing all available data, including radar information and flight recording, to determine the sequence of events that led to this tragic accident.
You came to this country for a brighter future for you and your loved ones. You've made it this far. Now it's time to become a citizen. With Citizenship, you gain the right to vote, access to federal jobs, the ability to keep your family closer, and the freedom to travel with a U.S. passport. These are just a few of the benefits waiting for you when you become eligible. We're here to help you through the process with free resources and personalized guidance. Together, we can make it easier. Get started at becomeacitizentoday.com.
In a devastating incident near Reagan Washington National Airport, more than 60 people have died after an American Airlines regional passenger jet collided with a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter. The collision occurred in mid-air, causing both aircraft to crash into the icy water of the Potomac River. Emergency responders rushed to the scene, but the frigid temperature and challenging conditions hampered rescue efforts. Authorities are investigating the cause of the collision, which has raised questions about air traffic control and military-civilian airspace coordination. This marked one of the deadliest aviation disasters in the region's history. In the wake of a catastrophic collision between an American Airlines regional jet and a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter near Reagan Washington National Airport, which killed 67 people, President Donald Trump has sparked controversy by suggesting without evidence that Federal Diversity Initiative were to blame. The crash, the deadliest U.S. aviation disaster in over 2 decades, occurred when the two aircraft collided mid-air and plunged into the Potomac River. While investigators are still working to determine the cause, Trump's comments have drawn criticism for politicizing the tragedy. Authorities emphasize that the investigation is ongoing and no definite cause has been identified. The remarks have reignited debates over the role of diversity programs in federal agencies and the importance of evidence-based discourse in the aftermath of such tragedies. Now, U.S. authorities have confirmed that the cause of the deadly collision between an American Airlines regional jet and a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter near Reagan Washington National Airport is still under investigation. The crash resulted in the death of all individuals on board both aircraft. Here what we know so far about the incident. The regional jet and the Black Hawk helicopter collided mid-air before crashing into the Potomac River. The impact and subsequent crash were catastrophic, with no survivors reported. U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order targeting international college students and others who participated in pro-Palestine protests during Israel's war on Gaza. The order, which aims to address what Trump described as anti-Semitic activity on college campuses, include aggressive measures such as revoking visas, prosecuting individuals found to by Hamas sympathizers, and deporting residents allies who violated the law during anti-Israel protests following the October 7, 2023 Hamas terror attack. Now, the key provision of the order: federal agencies are required to produce a report within 60 days outlining actions to curb anti-Semitism in college and universities. Educational institutions are empowered to monitor and report students involved in such protests, potentially leading to their removal from the institution. The order mandates the deportations of non-citizens who broke the law during protests, labeling them as threats to national security. Now, the criticism and controversy here. Civil rights groups and academic organizations have condemned the order, calling it an overreach that threatens free speech and targets students based on their political views. Critics argue that the order conflicts criticism of Israeli policies with anti-Semitism, potentially stifling legitimate discourse on college campuses. The executive order has sparked a heated debate over the balance between national security, free speech, and the right of international students, with many calling for a more major approach to addressing campus activism. U.S. President Donald Trump has announced plans to build a migrant detention facilities at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, to hold up to 30,000 undocumented immigrants deemed high-priority criminals. In a White House memo, Trump directed the Pentagon and Department of Homeland Security to begin the process for the facilities. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth stated it would serve as a temporary transit point of deportees, while Border Tom Homan confirmed the expansions of the existing Guantanamo facilities to be managed by Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Critics argue the plan raises legal and humanitarian concerns, echoing controversies over Guantanamo use for detainees. Hamas has freed 3 Israelis and 5 Thai hostages held in Gaza, marking a significant step in the ongoing prisoner exchange deal. In response, Israel began releasing 110 Palestinian prisoners, though the process was delayed due to tension over surging crowd at one of the handover points. The exchange aimed to de-escalating hostilities has been met with mixed reaction, with some celebrating the release and others expressing frustration over the delay and logistically challenges. The deal underscored the fragile nature of the negotiation in the region. So thank you for watching and thank you for supporting. This is me, Tabanda, signing off. Stay tuned for more news. DESI TV USA, DTV NN, and our OTT platform DTV Flex, where you can access to over 3,000 channels. So stay tuned and stay with us.